Start the damn show. Isn't getting any better.
Welcome, everybody, to the Deadwax Show. Woo! Come on, get out of the groove and get into the Deadwax. I am Chris, your host here on this podcast, and with me is my good friend Brent. Brent, how are you?
I'm doing great. That was an amazing off-the-cuff, get out of the grooves and into the Deadwax. I love that.
Get out of the grooves and get into the Deadwax.
We didn't pre-plan that. Well, at least Chris had mentioned that to me, so I like it.
This whole podcast is just going to be us pulling crap out of the air, so preparing the people, getting ready for it.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing here on the Deadwax Show is we want to talk about our love for music, our love for records, and our love for life, and just the wonderful things that we like to do as music nerds on the internet and in real life as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about is ourselves. Isn't that great? Aren't you excited? I'm excited.
Everyone wants to know that stuff. That's important stuff.
Exactly. So Brent, start us off. Tell the people who Brent really is deep down.
Well, deep down, I would say Brent is first and foremost a sociopath. Self-centered, egotistical. These are some of the things that my wife says to me on the daily.
Yeah. And your resume says it too.
Yeah. Anyways, I love music. It's one of my great passions in life. I don't know how you'd say it, hobbies, whatever. I love music amongst other things, and been listening to music my whole life. As far as record collecting, I've only been doing that for a little over 3 years now. So I was one of those people. I used to be one of those people. It's like, why would you buy physical media? You can just stream everything. It doesn't make sense. And then I bought a record, developed an addiction, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, maybe. So I've been collecting records for a little over 3 years. I've got quite a bit now, in the hundreds. Just so people can know like what my kind of musical preference and taste is. I kind of really steer more towards like the alternative rock genre. That's kind of like my bread and butter. But I am open to like almost everything except for like, I don't know, like country. Modern country is not really my thing. I'll listen to the hell out of 90s country, throw on some Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, and I'm there for it.
Yeah.
But really it's like alternative rock, indie music, that kind of stuff is like my main bread and butter. Just like, for example, some of my favorite bands, you got the Black Keys. They're my favorite. Okay. No one goes above them. But then I also like, the Strokes. I like Beck. I also really like, some of the other genres like Led Zeppelin's one of my favorite. I love Czarface. That's getting into hip hop. Same with Logic and the Beastie Boys. And then kind of getting more into your area, Chris. Maybe not so much, but Rage Against the Machine. I really love them. It's just kind of a sample. I'm sure we'll talk about more bands that I like. But, it's mostly kind of, there's a guitar, a bass, and some drums in most of the music I like. Anyways, so that is me just to begin with. I'm sure we'll dive more into the life that is Brent the more we go through this experience of the Deadwax Show. So, Chris, how about you, my friend? Tell the good people about yourself.
Oh, I love talking about myself. First off, I'm Brent's biggest fan. So that's the best part about doing this podcast together, or this show together, is that I love Brent more than I love anybody. So I'm going to start that over because I just coughed up a lung.
You can't say that without throwing up a little. I like Brent.
Brent's my favorite. We have to keep this. This is so funny. Okay, I'll start mine over. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. All right, here we go. I messed up my hat, Brent. Anyway. I'm Chris. Hi, everybody. As we all are aware, I'm Brent's biggest fan. So that's my first thing to get to know everybody, is that I'm a huge fan of Brent and everything he does. All right, but for me personally, I'm a music nerd as well. I've been collecting records for about 11 years now, and my music tastes are they're all over. A good amount of it sticks to like metal, but I also love punk and hardcore, emo, indie, goth rock, classic rock. I'm kind of everywhere. My favorite band is Whitechapel. They're a deathcore band. But I also love The Cure. The Cure is my second favorite band. I love Alkaline Trio, Protest the Hero, Alexis on Fire, Bring Me the Horizon, My Chemical Romance, The Wonder Years, pop punk, like same thing. We're gonna get into this a little bit more, but I I stick my toes into many waters, and sometimes not even water, sometimes other liquids. Sometimes I get kicked out of a Walmart because I'm sticking my feet into so many different things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Uh,
Uh,
so
and
I know of about maybe two or three of those bands that you named off.
hopefully The Cure is one of them.
Yes, The Cure is one of them.
Thank heavens. That's all that matters. The
Yep.
Cure is all that matters. And that's just the sentence. The Cure is everything.
Hmm.
We wouldn't have society today, government, people, inventions without The Cure. That's insane to think about.
Life would cease to exist.
Life would cease to exist without The Cure.
Hmm.
And isn't that what we need in the pandemic? Is a cure. Anyway, but started collecting records 11 years ago. I got into it because I just wanted to hear music in a better way. This was before records became like a trend again, and so it was a lot of I want it to be cooler than listening on an iPod. So back in 2010, there wasn't very many people that were into it. It was sort of like a hipster joke all the time that only hipsters listen to music on vinyl, and it was like jokes on Portlandia, and there's always the nerds at the record stores. Record store day had like 10 people at it. It was a different time.
I feel like if you
But
like anything, it's like you're a nerd now. Comic nerds, record nerds, except for like sports. I don't know if sports could
there's
go.
for sure sports nerds. Oh my gosh, there's for sure sports nerds. And I know this because I'm not one. And so like when someone's like, oh yeah, Bucky Harrington's having his best 17th quarter of this whole season, I'm like, nerd, move on. Get a new house.
Bucky Harrington plays for the what was it? The Seattle
Panthers. Yeah, for
Seattle
sure.
Panthers. There you
Yeah, for sure. So Brent, let's tell the people how we met, because that's an interesting little experience on its own.
So I'm like,
See, saying your name made me like vomit, and then you thinking about how we met makes you yawn.
it makes me stroke out a little bit. So I was at this bar looking all, no, I'm just kidding. So
I wanted to hear where that was going. That was going to be so good.
It wasn't going anywhere. It was a dead end. No, we met through freaking TikTok, man. Through a social media app. That is how we met and became lifelong partners. And
a lip syncing app for children.
What's that?
A lip syncing app for children.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was a dancing app.
Yep. There you go.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like posting dumb stuff. I think I was like making, like, I used my platform, I don't know, to share my collection, but I also like to poke fun at record collecting because I don't take anything too seriously. I try not to, at least, because, got a job and family and that stuff's all serious. So anyways, try not to take, most everything else too seriously. So I can't remember why you reached out to me, but I think maybe you posted something. I can't remember. Did I reach out to you? Did you?
I remember this very well.
Okay.
So we like started following each other because he's another vinyl person and he's hilarious. So I was like, oh, we'll give him a follow. And you had used one of my vinyl challenges, I believe, on your audios, and I had used one of yours. You did like a high school or something like that, like that. And so we started following each other, and then you posted a video where you went to a record store, Gray Whale in Utah, that we both go to. So and all he showed was the opening of the door, and I knew what store it was. And so I commented, I was like, holy freaking crap, I didn't know you were even like nearby. So then I started DMing you like every day, like, hey, how's it going? Hey. And we just made that connection that we're both like vinyl people on TikTok, but we also like don't live super far away from each other.
Yeah, and I remember like when like I think you had posted a video about like some of your favorite places to eat in Salt Lake City,
Hmm.
which is, where we kind of live in that area ish within an hour of Salt Lake City. Um, so I remember reaching out to you and I think I asked you about like, oh, I think I said you live in Salt Lake City and you had said that, yeah, but you live up in, what's the name of the city? Like it's Syracuse is what you said. And I'm originally from California. I've lived in many places, but I've only been in Utah for the last year. So when you said Syracuse, I'm like, oh, this guy lives in New York. What's he talking about Salt Lake City for? Initially I'm like, oh, bummer. That could have been a cool connection, but I thought you lived, on the other side of the country.
Yeah, you travel from work to Utah. Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm like, oh, there's a Syracuse north of here, and so like, oh, and so then I think what really sealed the deal is like you started a group on Instagram with us and a bunch of other collectors in the area that I think mostly you knew. You were like the hub of this group. I don't think any of us would have met or known each other hadn't been for you. So it was like, how many people are in there? Like, originally it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, there's only like 6 or 7 of us. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. We got less than 10 still, for sure. It's a rigorous.
And there's plenty of vinyl collectors in Utah, but these are ones that are like actively posting on Instagram that like we wanted to all connect with one another.
Mm-hmm. And plus, there's like a rigorous initiation process if you did want to come in. It's life-changing, and it's usually not in a good way, but you have to prove yourself. Anyways,
background checks, social security number,
hazy.
A blood oath of undying devotion. Yeah.
And Chris and I get to come over to your house and pick whatever we want from your collection. So,
and not even just record collection, we just take what we want from your house.
With Legos, whatever.
Legos. That's
so yeah, and then that's like, I think there's a lot of camaraderie in that, and I think after that we started meeting up to go get lunch, which usually it's tacos, sometimes it's sandwiches. But yeah, and then we go to a record store usually afterwards. So,
yep,
super excited.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've told this story like more than I've told people how I've met my wife.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Awesome.
All right, so that's how we met. TikTok, social media, it actually works.
Social media, exactly. You can make real friends on social media.
Yep, you just gotta get into these different communities and. Usually there's someone in the area if you don't live, in BFE, middle of nowhere,
Exactly. But like dead serious, the vinyl people of TikTok and Instagram, they're some of the best people around. Like we've made so many great connections. I only started actively posting dedicated to vinyl like within a year. I've been doing vinyl stuff on my own personal stuff for years now, but I've only like dedicated Instagram and TikTok to vinyl for a year, and I've made so many great friendships. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is. This can be really cool. Like, yeah, I met a lot of cool people through this. I think that's mostly outside of my job here. I think the vinyl people are the only people I know and see. So if it wasn't for this, the only people I know would be our work people.
Yikes.
Part of that's because I work from home and I got kids, and there's not a whole lot of time for me to go out and socialize.
And it's the pandemic. It's such a hard time to like know how to socialize. So social media, if you're being healthy with it, it can be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, even when I lived in California, like I'm from California originally, but before I moved here, I was really into the pro wrestling scene in that area. And that's where I made most of my friends. It was just connecting through social media. And then we became best friends in real life. Like I still talk with those guys every day. So social media has helped me find like real life friends. It's kind of weird.
See, look at that. We're not being paid by Mark Zuckerberg or the TikTok person.
Oh, you're not?
Our
blood.
This will be the last episode, everybody. Congratulations. You've made it through the breaking of our friendship as well. Yeah. So let's talk about how this month has been for you, Brent.
Okay.
Why this month has been so significant. Tell the people about November.
So it's only November 7th, but it feels like it's, November 2023 for me. So, like I've said, I've only been collecting records for a little over 3 years. And in that amount of time, I've amassed a collection of over 500 records. And that's like 500 titles, you know. Some of these are like double LPs, but they got a few box sets. So I've collected a lot in a little bit of time. And since I've started, when I first started collecting, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to collect like one record from each of my favorite bands. You know, I'll get something from the Strokes, something from Black Keys, something from Rage Against the Machine, you know, just I'll get a collection of maybe a dozen records. And then that quickly spiraled out of control. I think part of it was fueled by the pandemic and, you know, undiagnosed, I don't want to say undiagnosed, like mild depression, nothing serious, nothing I needed medicine for, but
Yeah.
just, you know, like
State. Yeah.
you're just stuck at home all the time. And it's like, you feel like you're in a rut because you couldn't really do a whole lot. At the time I was living in California and things were really shut down there. So, you know, staying at home, just something extra to do, and you can buy stuff online. Anyways, so since I started collecting, I haven't been able to go a whole month without buying a record. And that used to be my standard, like one record a month. That's all I'm going to buy. And I was pretty good at that at the beginning. But then it's like, once you start collecting, you find like stuff like Discogs, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these really cool things out there that I want. And since I was kind of late to the game, like there's a lot of cool stuff that I wanted, and it already come out and been released. And so I'm buying it on the secondary market. And I know the secondary market's insanely stupid right now when it comes to record collecting. And it wasn't that much better 3 years ago. It was starting to get ridiculous. And so, you know, a lot of these records that I really wanted in the secondary market, you're probably paying at least twice as much for what they went for retail. Anyway, so I haven't been able to go a month without buying a record. So that's what I'm trying to do this November. No buy November. I'm trying to go an entire month without buying any vinyl records. Yes, people have mentioned to me that there's Black Friday record store day. Luckily, I went through the list. There's really nothing on there I want. So even if it wasn't no buy, I don't know if I would even go. Like I'd probably just hang out at home. So
yeah.
Now having said that, there's been a couple of titles that have come out, and if I hadn't been doing no buy, I know I would have bought at least one. Parcels came out with the new album. I don't know how this flew under my radar because I could have pre-ordered it in freaking October. They just released an album on November 5th, and it's like, oh, I want it so bad, but they're not super popular. So I feel pretty confident I'll be able to get something retail in December. And then there's also a really cool Total Recall pressing by Lightning Addict that looked really dope. And, you know, Total Recall, I haven't watched that movie in years, but just it's a nice transparent red variant with a really cool cover. And it's like, I must have that. And not right now. It's been 7 days basically now, and no records purchased so far. We'll see if I can make it the rest of the month. But you want to hear what's the weirdest thing about this? No buy. I know, like, I feel very, like, there hasn't been any real temptation. Like, I've never put something in a cart online and been, like, hovering over the first, like, the click to confirm or click to purchase button. But there's this overall, like it's a non-ending fear that something that I would really want is going to be released. And then what would you call it? What would you, like,
your fear of missing out kind of thing?
The FOMO, like how like dedicated am I to this cause?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What's my damn, I can't think of the word.
Like,
anyways, I think you get what I'm saying. Like, how strong am I really to this? No, but is it just because nothing's come out that I really want?
Yeah.
Or can I really say no to something that I really want? Like, you know,
how strong is your resilience toward
my resolve? There we go. Like my resilience and my resolve. How strong is my resolve? Because, like, you know, Jack White just came out with a single a week or two ago, and it's like, oh shoot, I wonder if he's got an album on the way. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but just things like that. And there's that constant fear, like, oh man, I hope something doesn't come out that I want.
For sure. So. Well, and it's just like also being a vinyl collector in the modern day, it's almost like you need to have a reserve amount of money, because stuff will just get announced and they'll be like, tomorrow pre-orders go up, and you have to pre-order it that day or you'll never get it. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. So it is a weird time to try to not buy records. I think it's smart to do it this month and not December. Mm-hmm. Like, I think stuff's going to be happening next month. So I think it's smarter to do it.
Stuff's happening this month too, but
I mean, it's not that big of stuff though.
a tip for all the record collectors out there, because it's kind of what we're gonna part of what our niche is gonna be. Um, PayPal. PayPal's my best friend. PayPal's paying for it. I hope I don't get anyone addicted, and then eventually,
Causing
PayPal.
financial ruin by listening to us. Yeah.
all our listeners are going to be on the street.
Yeah.
PayPal's paying for option. It's not everywhere, but lots of places have it now. Man, it really takes a $60 purchase and really makes it really digestible by cutting it into four. So
Yep.
just so everyone knows, a little tip there. I'm
Yep.
sure most people know about it, but
There's and a lot of the best like record places do the paying for.
Mondo, Newberry,
Dude, I've abused
Freehive.
paying for. I can't tell you I don't know how many times.
Mm-hmm.
I buy a lot from Newberry Comics, so
They usually have pretty good stuff.
they do. I love them, and it's like it's packaged well. I know lots of people have opinions on this. I've never felt like ripped off or anything, so I love buying from Newberry.
Mm-hmm. They usually
Anyway,
have pretty good stuff.
yeah.
So, anyways, speaking of November, now even though I'm doing a no buy November, I'm not ordering, like I'm not buying anything, I'm not pre-ordering anything. However, I have pre-ordered some stuff previous to November that has come in this week. And if you're ready for it, I'd like to transition into the segment where we talk
I'm
about
so ready. Let's do it.
what we've gotten in this week. So the number one thing I'm excited for that came in for me this week, and I'm sorry if I'm doing the bulk of the talking right now, but this is really exciting for me.
Yeah, go for it.
The Black Keys had their El Camino 10th anniversary reissue of that album come out this week, and I got the Super Deluxe. It's literally called the Super Deluxe box set. And man, that came with 5 LPs in it. So you got like the original album, 2 LPs are of a live performance in like Oregon or something like that. Then they got a BBC session and some other session, like the Vox session. I can't remember what it's called. But it's just if you love a band, like if Whitechapel came out with something like that, you know what I mean? It's like,
oh, absolutely.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. It's your favorite band. You got to get it, and you're gonna love it, even if it sucks. That was really cool. It's like a really thick box set too, man.
And it came with like a bunch of stuff besides records too, right?
It came with like not a bunch of stuff, but it did have like a poster in there. It had a booklet with a lot of the minivans, from that album, and then also like some pictures of them when they're making the album. And then it also came with a little van car freshener that you can put in, but I just don't have it in me to open anything.
I love crap like that. I love when they throw something in that makes no sense, but you're like, this is everything.
Yep. And besides that, the other thing that came this week that I also pre-ordered is the Kid Amnesia, however you want to pronounce that. Kid Amnesia.
The Radiohead one. Yeah.
Got the Indie Red variant, which is really cool. It's a really cool red color. I don't know when this is going to come out, but I'm planning on sharing that tomorrow on the social medias. So stay tuned, or maybe go check it out, depending on when this comes out.
Yeah, there you go.
How about you, man? What'd you get this week? I heard you got like 1,000 records this week.
So I bought a lot of records and I got a few in. So I can go over the ones that I got in. One that I'm really stoked on that I posted about today, November 7th, regardless of whenever this episode comes out, is by a band called Chiodos, and it is their second album, Bone Palace Ballet. That is a great album, very big to me when I was a teenager, and they didn't press those for a really, really long time, and then this last year they pressed it like 10 times. So it was one of those like sought after for so long. And then in 2021, now everybody can get one. And I got one. So I was really, really stoked on it.
They must have heard that Adele was going to be pressed and stuff. So they had to get it all in.
Freaking Adele, man. I got another thing that I'm really stoked on. There was a band like 6 years ago called Set to Stun. And in my opinion, they are one of the most talented bands to ever exist. They put out one album.
Star Wars themed heavy metal.
There you go. They put out one album and then they just like disappeared into nothingness. And I think that album is like a masterpiece. Well, they put the pre-orders for the vinyl out in like March or April.
Oh, jeez.
And so I saved up my coins. I think I pre-ordered it when I was unemployed because I
Like
wanted
Mario
it
over
so
here.
bad. Like I pre-ordered it when I had no income because I wanted it so bad. And then it just kept getting like the delivery date got pushed back and pushed back and pushed
Yeah.
back. And I have like a spreadsheet with all of my pre-orders on it and when the anticipated date is. And on that one I just put I don't even know anymore because they changed it like 20 times. Well, it eventually shipped and it came in this week and it's just beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. I posted about it. The band reposted it. The singer reposted it. It was super, super cool.
Oh
But
no.
yeah, like I love that band Set to Stun. And then as for albums I pre-ordered, I thought this would be a fun thing to mention. This last week was Bandcamp Friday, and so it's always good to support artists who actually need your money, as opposed to Adele. Anyway,
I'll need your money.
Yeah, Adele doesn't need money. You've seen her lately; she's doing just fine. Anyway, uh, so I bought a bunch of albums from bands that are a lot littler and that I actually think would be fun to support. Um, two ska bands, two ska core bands, so ska bands that mix with hardcore.
I think any
And
ska band would probably be a band that needs your money.
exactly, ska, yeah, ska's not what it once was in 1999. But there's two ska core bands I love. One is called Kill Lincoln, and the other is called The Best of the Worst. And oh my gosh, I got to tell you about this. I got a shirt from The Best of the Worst too, and it has Guy Fieri on it,
Oh, nice.
and it says The Best of the Worst, and on the back it says diners, drive-ins, and stage dives. And
Nice.
I was like, that's it. I don't need any other clothing the rest of my life. That's the final piece of clothing. That's my last Infinity Stone, is that shirt.
You're done
Anyway,
collecting shirts and no more. You're never going to buy another shirt,
I'm
are you?
done. Yeah, I've had it. I don't need shirts anymore. That's it. That's the one shirt I'll ever wear. And then I also got a bunch of records from some friends of mine. They're in a band called Pulses, and they're my friends on TikTok. And so I bought a bunch of their records, and I love them. They're a great band. So super super fun Bandcamp Friday, and then I just more record. I swear I do fine financially.
You have a problem, Chris.
Yeah. At the same time, this hobby is really quick tangent. The thing that's hilarious about record collecting is if you don't collect records and you talk to anybody that does, you always have the exact same interaction where they go, "It's the best. It's the best thing I ever done. However, it has ruined me financially." It's like the only hobby where we'll tell you don't get into it because you'll go broke. Anyway, so back to this. So I bought those ones, and then two different records from people on social media, just that from their collection that they were selling, and were like things that I really, really, really wanted. So that came up, and that's just more money just being tossed at wax circles.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
one of them was a record I've wanted for like ever, and it was Crimson by Alkaline Trio. So boom,
Nice.
look at that. One of my favorites. Exhausting, but that's all of my record experience in the past few days.
Yeah, man, it's been all I can do. Well, I should say it sounds like an exciting week for you, you lucky bastard. Although my suffering self-imposed. Well, it's mostly self-imposed.
Self-imposed suffering is a great name for a band, by the way.
Mostly self-imposed, or it's just self-imposed.
Self-imposed suffering is a great name for a band.
There you go. Self-imposed suffering. So I haven't even been looking at Discogs lately because I don't even want to be tempted. And if something that I really want, that's usually pretty expensive, becomes available at a price I could afford, I don't even want to know about it. I just I haven't deleted the app from my phone, but I took it off of the main homepage and into one of the subfolders, and I can't look at it.
It's an awful tempting thing because you'll just be like, oh, I'll hop on Discogs, see how my want list is doing, and then something from a bunch of years ago that's usually 300 is only 299, and you're like, oh, whoa, what? Okay, maybe, yeah, and you make it off. And then you don't have Christmas that year, but it's okay because you get to listen to Chumbawamba on vinyl.
Yep.
So our next thing we want to talk about in this episode, just on our as we wrap up the very first Deadwax experience, is
The
what it's
Deadwax
like.
experience. I
The
like it.
Deadwax experience. It's like Jimi Hendrix experience, but it's dead.
Or the Joe Rogan. The
The
Road Jogan.
if you think about it, it technically is the Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah, we just haven't done the drugs yet.
Well, not. I want to talk about what it's like to be a content creator for vinyl records on social media, because that is how Brent and I met. And here's my question, Brent. Do you find it to be fun or frustrating or both?
I would say mostly one, sometimes a little bit of the other. And I'll tell you why in a second. First of all, I hate being called a content creator. Like my wife and I'll jokingly say that to my wife, like, sweetie, I need to go downstairs and make some content. You know, I don't know. Like if anyone, I'm not trying to come down on anyone or think that they're dumb. Like it's just one of those things. Like I don't know. I hate having titles, and so not that I have any, but you know,
Yeah.
oh, content creator. Oh, President so and so over here, czar, la la la. Like get out of here with that. You know,
Our face, yeah.
I'm just a jackass with a phone. All right, that's what my thing should be called. Anyways, so I love it because like it's a lot of fun, and I really like. This is gonna sound stupid. I don't know if it's gonna sound stupid, but I'm trying not to make it sound stupid or sappy. Like I like it that I can do something and maybe it might make somebody else, I don't know, laugh or smile. I like that part of it too. Hasn't pissed a whole lot of people off, even though sometimes people get upset about some things I do. But it's just, you know, it's just fun. And like I said, it's an outlet to kind of share some creativity. I won't say I'm the most creative person in the world, but I feel like I got a little bit of the creative bug in me, and that's another outlet. And so it's mostly fun, especially when we do some stupid collaborations. And there is disappointment sometimes because, for example, like I posted a video, yes, and this is gonna make me sound petty, and
Ready.
I don't like to post about, oh, I got this many followers, thank you, or you know,
Yeah.
this many views. But I do track how many views I do on stuff just to kind of see if it's something worth doing, you know, especially if it took a lot of work. And that's what will happen sometimes. You'll do something, you'll put a lot of work and effort into it, and then like it gets, you know, you put an hour into something and it gets, you know, I don't know, 100 views. It gets nothing, you know. And then yesterday, I literally filmed myself walking. I literally filmed myself walking to my mailbox, like not like on me. It was like a road. You're watching me walk down or open my mailbox and look inside to see that there's a package there. 1,500 views, you know, one take, just off the cuff. Tons of views, and then something else I put, you know, 20 takes, lots of time and effort, and nothing. And that can be a little frustrating sometimes, but in the end, you know, most of the time I have fun making it, even if it's not well received by the TikTok gods. And anyways, it's fun to share too, and I love that. I love following people on TikTok and Instagram too who do record collecting, because honestly, a lot of things that I have that I absolutely love in my collection, I didn't know existed until I saw someone else share it on Instagram. So, like for example, one thing that I have that I absolutely love is that Voyager box set that I have from the, you know, the gold record that they put on the Voyager satellite and shot it off out of the solar system. They made a record of what was actually on that record, and it came in a cool box set with a lot of information. I had no idea that thing existed, so someone posted it. I'm like, what? And it just so happened that company that made it was in the process of pre-orders because they only did one and they're doing a repress. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I hadn't found in that window, I might not have gotten it, or at least, you know, not for a retail price. And it's a box set, so it wasn't cheap to begin with. Anyways, how about you, man? I feel like I go so long-winded. Not a lot of back and forth in this one.
You're fantastic. You're great. I think the very same thing. It's a lot of fun, and that's why you should be posting on the internet is fun. Because the second you feel like it's like a job or you have like an obligation, you should like take a step back. because you're gonna hate it no
What
matter
about
what it
people who
is.
do things for educational purposes?
They're gonna burn in hell. Um, no, like the thing about TikTok for me is that it's just about having fun and helping people have fun as well. Same thing, whether they laugh or cry. I'm not looking to make people cry on TikTok,
It's a
but
fun
like
crime.
when the thing that I got started, what I really found my like niche. The thing is, Brent and I, we always joke that we're niche internet micro celebrities because like we both have an okay following on the internet, but like we're very specific in what we do on the internet. And so with like me on TikTok, I started off because I would make like these audios people could use to share their vinyl records. And it's because I totally love showing off my collection. Absolutely, it's great. But I love when other people get excited too. So it was one of those like, if I can get people to think about, your house is on fire, what's the record you're gonna pick first? That's what I got like really, really excited about. And that's when I like actually found success on TikTok was making audios. I don't really do that anymore because I feel like I beat the dead horse. So I kind of just started making whatever I felt like making. Once I like got people to follow me from that, then I could, make whatever I wanted. But it took a minute because I had a lot of failures on TikTok before I had any success. And if you go very far on my TikTok, it is a bleak desert land past my very first audio challenge. um, but yeah, like I think TikTok is a lot of fun. Same with Instagram. You may work really hard on something that doesn't go very far or do very well, but you had a good time, and that's what matters more to me. Like personally, my most popular TikTok is also my least favorite one. I hate it. I hate it so much.
What
But
is it? Which one is it?
so I have a friend that asked me to make up a music conspiracy theory just because he made a prompt
Oh,
for
I
it.
remember this one. It's
And
Jared
I made a
Leto.
conspiracy theory that Jared Leto's not real. Yeah, that's it. It was very obviously a joke, and it got much bigger than anything I had ever done. So
How many views is it at?
it has 170,000 views. Yeah. I had to turn off the comments because I was so sick of people commenting ridiculous things I never heard.
How dare you?
I
Jared
know.
Leto's a saint.
It was like the
The
tone
Jared
of
Leto crowd was after you.
the Jared Leto community. Jared Leto legitimately has a cult. So like it could have been them. Anyway,
Is that
uh
the theory?
it was very obviously a joke. It's a humorous video, and people were in the comments being like, "You can be good at a few things and still be human." And it was like, I hate all of you. Anyway, uh the thing about being a content creator, I'm going to use that phrase. Here's the fun thing is that Brent is my brother, but like there is a few years between us. And I'm at that age where saying you're a content creator is like it's fine. Like we all say it. You're a content creator. Like it's a title. Take your title. Take your title, be a Deathwax and move on. Anyway, and I think it's a lot of fun because Brett and I have like gone to concerts together and we're making videos while we're hanging out and having fun. Like there's this stupid stigma that content creators have their phones out the entire time. And it's like, no, we just have our phones out when we're at Taco Bell and when we're watching corn. Like it's it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, I love making content about vinyl records. I think it's fun. Some people take it too seriously. Whatever. That's not my gig. I'm just here to have fun and make stupid jokes.
Mhm.
And same thing, like make a joke about being emo and get like 3,000 views. And then when I'm like, hey guys, my mental health's doing really well, get like 100. So whatever.
Nobody cares, Chris.
Nobody cares. But they care about me being emo. Yeah.
um, on TikTok, my most popular one, just another one I was being stupid. It's John's. What was that? Like he said, show me,
Yes.
what's
Your
show me
music
the
taste is poor.
yeah, use for records
Yes.
and show me like how vast or how wide your your
Broad.
musical taste is, how broad your musical taste is. Thank you. And I happen to have 4 variants of Thick Freakness by the Black Keys on vinyl. And I just did a video of each variant. So it's the same song. And anyways, I was just being stupid. And there you go. Another example.
It doesn't matter what you think is gonna go well. It's just the things you don't care about are gonna do well.
Yep.
Like the TikToks we make together, I feel like one of them did well.
Was it the nacho one?
The nacho one did really well. The one we did at the record store just a few weeks ago did really well too. But
Oh, the digging
yeah,
belly.
they, oh my gosh, just burped so hard my soul left my body for a second.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the digging belly. That one did well.
That's trademarked. We're gonna make merch on that.
Yeah, nobody is allowed to use that phrase. It's just like when Paris Hilton would say "that's hot." You can't say it. It's our thing.
Well, I think people could say it.
No,
I
they
just don't
can't.
want anyone stealing
No,
it.
they
Put
can't.
it on
I'm stopping them now. No, you cannot.
You can put it on a tote bag. Those record tote bags. Speaking of which, I don't get those. Like,
The bags?
yeah, the tote bags. Like,
I love them.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't. But anyways, we can talk about another discussion.
You're looking to destroy the environment. It's fine. It's not like it's the environment or Mother Nature or anything.
The whole hobby destroys the environment. So
that's true. Actually, when you think about it, we're collecting the plastic from disintegrating into the earth, so we're doing just fine.
I guess, but I don't know if they'd make so much of it if we didn't ask for it.
Okay, fine. Anyways,
on that high note,
on that note, we're destroying the environment together. Princess Mononoke is about us.
If you are a record collector, you are trash. You are destroying the earth. No, I'm just kidding.
I think if you were to say to any record collector, you are trash, they all go, like it's the nature.
Why do you think I collect records?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you think I have a high image of myself? Anyway.
Is there any record collector who's truly happy, or is it just a high?
That's a good quote. That's the tagline. I love that.
It's just chasing always the next high. Like, I got this in, not enough. I got to get that next high. We're like addicts.
We're called vinyl junkies. Yeah, because it's just
yeah.
We'll sell our family heirlooms for just.
We are personal friends with someone who literally sells their plasma for record. This is not. I'm not making this up.
It's not a joke.
It's not hyperbole. Yeah. He literally has sold plasma to save money for records.
Yep. And it's genius. If I could do it, I would. Oh my gosh.
It's genius.
It's genius. Oh my gosh. If I could do it, I would. It's brilliant. You get $70 a week from doing plasma.
Here's what we need to figure out. We need to figure out how we can take zero talent and monetize it. And then we'll build all the records we want.
Yeah. That's my dream. Are you kidding me? That's like what I've been looking for 28 years now, is how do I just make money off of not doing anything?
Usually you have to be hot. Anyways, we're getting off topic now.
Are you implying?
Good sir, I take umbrage.
No. We'll wrap this up in 2 seconds. But are you implying that that's something I'm missing?
We're like, I'd say we're podcast hot. By that I mean no one can see us, and so there's a little bit of mystery there.
Well, everyone, this was the last episode of the Deadwax Show. I congratulate
last
on everybody that watched this. It was great. Our divorce will be pending, so you can tune in for the live event.
The live breaking of
the live stream of our divorce. Okay.
The headlines: Deadwax dead.
That's good. Deadwax. Okay. Well, everybody.
Smooth transition there.
Smooth transition. We call this peanut butter because it's so crunchy. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Deadwax. Brent, tell the people where they can find you.
So you can find me. You can see it right there on the screen, hopefully, and you can see it behind me. Vinyl Stooge on TikTok and Instagram. I'm also on Twitter, but not super active there. So that's where they can find me. And I think we'll have to come up with something for the show.
Yeah.
The Deadwax. I like the Deadwax experience. At first, I thought we were just going to call it Deadwax. But we'll talk about that. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Twitter. Yeah, you can find Deadwax everywhere. AOL, IM, MySpace, Club Penguin, everywhere. Hotmail, anyway. And then I am Chicken and Waffles Forever on TikTok and Chicken and Vinyl Forever on Instagram.
Smart choice. Not confusing whatsoever.
Not confusing at all. If you just look up chicken and something, I tend to be the first thing that comes up.
So chicken and Waffles Forever on Instagram and Chicken and Vinyl Forever on
Brent, You make it so hard to love you sometimes.
And I think this is like, sorry to cut you off on the ending here. I specifically chose my name for a reason, Vinyl Stooge. Like, if you see that name, don't ever take anything I do seriously, or like it's perfectly cool. I'm not like Vinyl Genius. I'm not Vinyl Fountain of Wisdom. It's Vinyl Stooge. I'm an idiot. Don't just take it for what it is.
I don't think I've ever known the story behind that. That's genius.
Plus, I like the sound of the word stooge. So that's
yeah, it works great. It works great.
Yeah.
I wish I had a good story. I just like chicken and waffles, and so I stuck with that.
Chicken waffles are good.
They're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Second favorite food.
Yep.
Anyway, that is the Deadwax experience, or just Deadwax. We're going to find out a little bit later what we're going to go with.
We're still undecided.
We're still undecided, but thank you to anybody who listened to this entire thing. Please expect more. There's going to be lots of good stuff to talk about. And remember, get out of the groove and get into the Deadwax.